Deborah from Cook Colorful, and today we are doing a small bite on how to use a chef's knife. The chef knife and the paring knife are the only two knives that you absolutely have to have in your kitchen. The rest are kind of extras. So today I'm going to show you how to use your chef's knife in any situation so that you will always use it safely and effectively. Come on along. Before we cut anything, we always want to ensure that our cutting board is stable on our counter. This board has rubber stoppers to keep it from sliding, but you could also place a wet paper towel under your board to keep it from moving. So we're going to begin with how to hold the chef's knife. Place your thumb and index finger on the heel of the knife and pinch. From here, just wrap your three remaining fingers around the handle. Never put your index finger on top of the knife or you won't have good balance and you could cut yourself. From here, we're going to use a rolling technique, rolling through the food and allowing the sharpness of the blade to do the work. This is not an up and down motion, but rather a backwards circular motion. The tip is dragged back towards the food while the heel of the knife is lifted, and then you push forward and down, always keeping the knife in contact with the board. All right, here it is in real time. You can see the knife is always in contact with the board. Now we're going to talk about the other hand, the guide hand. The guide hand is guiding the knife while also stabilizing the food. Now, in order to prevent yourself from cutting your fingertips, you must keep your knuckles bent. The blade of the knife should be in contact with the bottom knuckle of your middle finger when cutting, just like this. Now your thumb and pinky will stabilize the food. Here's an example of how to use your guide hand when cutting celery. You'll slide your fingers back as you cut. Now, when you're cutting, you should be using the sweet spot of the knife, right about there. You're going to know that you're doing it correctly if the food sticks there on the knife, just like that. Now, if you're making larger cuts, you don't necessarily need to keep the knife up against your knuckle, but be sure to keep your fingertips tucked under at all times. Now, the next technique is for cutting herbs or mincing something that's already been chopped. It's known as the pivot technique. You anchor the tip of the knife on the cutting board and rotate the knife as you chop, using that knife tip as a pivot point. Both hands are away from the blade, so you can safely do this quite quickly. Here it is in real time. Again, one hand's holding the knife, the other on top. Then using the tip as the pivot point, you can go ahead and chop your herbs. And you can adjust your herbs and continue chopping until they're as fine as you want them. This will take just a minute or two. Keep moving it around, getting it in place, and chop. And there you have it, very finely chopped. Now, what if you're cutting something larger, like a potato? Here we're going to use an up and down technique instead of the circular motion of the rolling technique. We're going to use the center of the knife for this. And if needed, we'll even use a little bit of a sawing motion to cut through the food if it's hard. Now we're slicing down through the potato, and then we lift the knife up off the board to cut again, using our knuckle to guide the cuts. So that's all there is to it. I hope that these new skills will make you feel comfortable and confident in the kitchen so that you can tackle any recipe that you're interested in trying. Stay safe and cook colorful.